Life doesn't move in straight lines. It twists, turns, and surprises us along the way. On Better Things Ahead, we talk with people who have walked those winding paths. Each story reminds us of the lessons, hope, and promise of Better Things Ahead.
Welcome in. Today we're going to be talking about, on the Better Things Ahead podcast, Better School Change. And today I am joined by two good friends, Adam Horn and Molly Horn. They know each other pretty well. Welcome in.
Welcome.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here today. So we've known each other for a while now. How long have we known each other? Gosh.
How old's, let's see, Jackson's 19, Lander 19, so probably 15 years.
It's close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have been doing just a series on just kind of like life changes, things that, you know, as you work through your life, maybe you guys as parents, you as children have to think occasionally about like whether or not you're in the right school situation, right school setting. So today, as we talk about this, one of the things I want to be careful about is I don't want to necessarily mention any names of schools or anything like that, because that really doesn't matter. It's kind of irrelevant to those who are listening. I want to encourage them to think through, like, there are probably some questions that are running through your mind when it comes to, hey, is my kid in the right school situation? Is this a place where they can grow the most? Is this a place where they can flourish as individuals? And so as we talk about that, let's kind of talk in generalities first, and maybe we get into the specifics of why y'all made the change that you did. But Molly, when you are thinking about the school that is ideal for you, what are some things that you're looking for?
I would look for... I would look for a good friend group to have, like a tight, kind of close-knit circle.
Yeah.
Probably like education stuff, or is the staff good, are the teachers good, what classes they have there, because I don't want to say that I'm smart, but I'm like...
You're pretty smart.
I'm in the like honors courses, so like if they offer more of those classes, or like college level classes and stuff. So, yeah.
How much does sports matter to you specifically?
Sports do matter to me, but I wouldn't say that's like a deciding factor.
Okay.
At least in my sense. I know sports are very important to most people who are like wanting to do that in the future and stuff, but that's just not what like I was looking for. So, I mean, I'd like to play sports there, but if it's not in the cards, then like I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I guess.
So, Adam, from your perspective, like as you heard Molly and the things that she prioritized, where do those overlap for you as a parent? You and Michelle, as y'all kind of thought through this, did some of those same things overlap, and what's the similar? What's different? I'm just curious.
Some of those do, but first of all, I would just say we have 4 children, and all 4 are very different.
Sure.
And they have different...
Molly, you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
It's correct. It's you'd think 1 or 2 of them would be similar, but they're not. All 4 are different. Yeah. So we looked for certain things. Obviously, my oldest daughter went to school first. She was very smart academically. So we wanted her to be challenged that way, as well as it's important to us that they all involve Christ in everything they do.
Yeah.
Just like I do here. I mean, just like you hear me talk about all the time, Christ should be involved in every sphere of our lives.
Yeah.
Not just at church. So we were looking for originally, a Christian school that had high academics and was a low teacher to student ratio.
Sure.
And we thought they would get, more attention in that regard with her.
So she went all the way through one particular school, and then at some point, I can't remember how long ago it was now, you guys decided to make a change with the rest of the family. What are some things that kind of led up to those changes? Well, and it didn't happen all at once either, did it?
Yeah, no, we did it.
Landry's was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
So-
we pulled him out first and left the girls at that school.
So Landry's your second child.
Right, Landry's second child. Then we have Molly. Then we have Josie. Presley had one more year, so we allowed her to go ahead and finish out there.
Yep.
And Molly was transitioning out of middle school into high school. Josie was transitioning from elementary to middle the next year. So we let them finish those and make that transition before we pulled them out. And Landry was going from when we pulled him, he was going from 8th into 9th, from middle school to high school.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like what y'all did is y'all looked at a just a regular, I guess, a traditional break in where you were in the school calendar of life, like kind of your life calendar, and you were like, this is a good chance for us to move from one situation to another. What are some things that, Molly, from your perspective, as you moved from one school to another, like what were some of the biggest challenges for you as you kind of made that change?
I would say, like, getting to know all the new people and kind of getting used to it, because going from a private school to a public school is like a huge difference. Huge.
Especially where you went, because like you went from a school that was, I mean, a big private school, but not like ridiculously large,
Yeah.
to a very large 7A Mississippi public school.
And it was also like getting used to the classes. There's maybe like 20 people in my classes to begin with, and then once I moved, it was like 30 maybe. But it was like so different, especially even going from middle school to high school was a lot different, because like I was used to being all together, like 6th, 7th, 8th. We were all in one building, and then I went to like high school and I was like, oh my gosh, this is, but I enjoyed it. It was just new. I had to get used to it, I think, was just the main thing.
Yeah, Adam, from y'all's perspective, as the family made that move from one school to another, what were some of the things that you noticed that maybe changed in your schedules, changed in the atmosphere at home, those sorts of things?
Well, for one, we had to drive a lot further, and we were, because they were at one point we had them at 3 different schools.
Yep.
So, or not 3 different schools. Well, it's 3 different drop-off points.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge. Involved more time, was more time consuming, and we had to adjust to that. As far as academic wise, the public school that we sent them to is it's probably one of the top public schools in the state academically, for sure. We didn't, the kids thought it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought it was going to be easier too, but for them. But we found out that was not the case. But I wanted to say this at first, as young parents, before we sent our children to school, we researched, mostly me, we researched as best we could the schools in the area, the private schools and public schools. And, we thought we were doing, what was best for our child at the time. Well, we come to find out later, especially with Presley's situation, I may not didn't do as good a research as I had thought.
Sure.
Because for one, the private school did not offer national merit scholars. Like I said, the Presley was very smart academic wise, and if we had had her in the public school, she could have got a lot more scholarship money. But like I said, all that was in hindsight, and we made some mistakes. We were thinking we were getting one thing, and we ended up getting something different, or not exactly what we were led to believe when I was doing the research. So we came to the realization that the school they were at, it was our job, or specifically my job as the family, the head of the family, the spiritual leader of the family, to disciple my kids.
Yep.
At a early on, we looked to the school to maybe disciple it, and the church to do the most of the discipling. But like I said, God, the Holy Spirit convicted me of that, and I realized that it's my job as the father to lead my family spiritually, and the school and the church to come along beside and partner with me. I didn't realize that at the early stage of fatherhood.
Yeah.
Once I did realize that, the thing that the private school was offering, the discipleship and all that stuff, that I didn't really think they were doing a very good job. There was no point in us to continue to send them there.
Yeah.
For that, because I had taken that role over and was going to partner. If the public school didn't offer it, or didn't, I didn't look to the public
as much,
as much as the private school did. I started to take that part of the equation out, and didn't really have a problem sending them to, making that change.
Sure.
And honestly, I've been very surprised at how much God is mentioned, and they do pray, and how much they do a lot of the things that the private school was doing, but I wasn't paying exorbitant amounts of tuition to send them there.
Yep. So, Molly, from your perspective, you moved from a private school where there is at least some emphasis on Christian worldview and that sort of thing, to a public school where that is not going to be explicit. Like, there may be pockets of that, and it's going to be done maybe more by individuals, and the school can't promote it. So, like, how have you seen kind of the spiritual atmosphere of your school change as you moved from a place that is more explicitly Christian to one that is public education?
Yeah, it was honestly one of the more surprising things to me as well, that like I was going to this Christian school that was supposed to be like, went to chapel and all that stuff, and I honestly feel like since I've moved to the public school, I've grown a lot stronger in my faith, which is kind of weird to me, because I'm like, if they're doing all that and we're just like praying a couple times or like whatever, how is that such a big change for me? Because I would say that before I was kind of just like coasting. It was kind of becoming like a daily job for me. Mm-hmm. And once I moved to the public school where they didn't offer all of that, I was like, well, I've got to do this myself now. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, obviously with people alongside me, but I was like actually putting in the effort and stuff to grow my relationship with Christ, and like the friends that I've made there too. Like, I found those groups of people that will walk alongside me in that. So I think it is a big change, big dynamic difference between the two, which was one of the more surprising things to me. Yeah,
what I heard you say there, one of the things that's really important is like who you surround yourself with as a circle of friends, and like who pushes you. That's going to be a lot of who influences you to grow or to not grow, depending on who you surround yourself with. I'm curious, so when it came to like actually making the change, how hard were you guys as siblings pushing?
Honestly, I was fine with it. I was fine with moving. I mean, I was going to miss like my friends and everything that I had made there, but I kind of wanted to, but I know Josie, if she was here right now, she'd be like, no, she always says she wants to go back, and like she doesn't like it as much, but I think she was just too young to understand. She was really advocating to stay. Mm-hmm. And obviously Landry had already gone, and he was fine with moving too, and I'm like, well, this will be fun. So I was fine with it.
How long after Landry went over to public school did you guys go?
Let's see, Landry.
It was the next year. I mean, they stayed one more year.
Yeah,
after Landry.
Landry, I was in 7th, and Landry was in 9th. So once I got done with 8th grade is when I moved.
Gotcha. So how much influence did he have on your your thinking about it?
I don't know. I'm not like easily influenced by them, I guess.
I'm an independent woman.
Yeah, they're all different.
But seeing him like enjoying it as much as he did, I think made me not like nervous about.
Yeah.
I mean, I was nervous, but like I was excited at the same time.
Sure. So, Adam, you mentioned one of the things that kind of held you back for a while was the discipleship aspect. Was there anything else about moving your kids from private to public that held you back outside of that discipleship piece where you were like, I'm not sure if this is really the right move?
Yeah, well, once my old that held me
Held you back.
that I shouldn't
Yeah, you were
pull.
like, maybe I shouldn't.
Not really, because as far as my background that you didn't know, I went to 3 different schools.
Yeah.
Public and private. I had both, whereas Michelle went public all the way. I knew they would be fine, and it wasn't going to be that big a deal. And with Josie advocating, wanting to stay, if you know Josie and her personality, that's with everything. You know, she never wants to do anything the first time, but after she does it and I like this, you know, she does. And, you know, so I knew that she was going to be fine because I knew how her personality was. And, there wasn't, once we made the decision, there was nothing holding us back.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I was thinking like we had all been going to that school since we were in kindergarten, which is like kind of crazy because we like grew up with all those people, but I guess that like literally pretty much our whole lives up to teenage years. So that's why I was wondering if that was like a big thing for y'all.
No, because like I said, with me, I went through that, and
you stayed at the same school like pretty much your whole life and then moved.
Yeah, I went to elementary school at one school, and I went to middle school at another school, and I went to high school at another school. And that allowed me, I may not have realized it at the time, but when I got out, I had so many friends.
Yeah.
I knew people from everywhere, and especially in college and stuff. I mean, it just, I don't know, at times I felt like the mayor because everybody knew me and I knew everybody. So I didn't think, I knew they wouldn't have a problem making the transition, especially with Molly's personality. I knew she was not going to have an issue, and I knew with Josie that her, it'd take her a little while, but I knew she would get over it.
Yeah.
And I think she has. Landry is a little bit different because that's another story. He's not necessarily an academic weapon, but he loves baseball and he wanted to play baseball, and basically the one school was like, well, he's not going to be able to play here. Yeah. So that kind of made it easy.
Sure.
Easy decision for us to make because he wanted to continue playing and we wanted him to continue playing, and so we just pulled the trigger on him.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, one more question about school change specifically, and what in your mind, both of you, is good? What are good reasons to stay? So, like, maybe you're thinking about changing, and as you're thinking about, man, should we make this change? What are some good reasons that you look at that you're like, we should stay? Like, if you had stayed in your situation, what would you look back on and say that was a good reason to stay?
I don't know.
Well, I can speak. I know what would have been good for her is she would have been able to continue to play soccer and basketball and run track, all the things that
I did like
We-
every sport.
Yeah, that we love to watch her at, but in the other school the seasons conflict.
Yeah.
So even though she made the basketball team and the soccer team, we had to
pick.
her first year she was able
I had to pick.
Yeah, she had to pick. Yeah, because we would have definitely made different choices if I got to pick, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
But
I'm proud of you for letting your daughter make a decision for herself.
yeah, I'll always regret it though. But whatever,
my gosh.
you know. I mean, she'll regret it later, maybe.
Don't regret your decision.
Well, if you win
I don't
the
regret-
state championship in soccer, I got you. But they may
Stay
win
tuned.
They might. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
Senior
but
season.
hey, that senior class is also strong in girls basketball. They may be able to do it too. So I wouldn't count that out
No.
either. Yes,
We don't have any seniors on the basketball team this
you
year.
don't have to have seniors.
You said that senior class is good at basketball. Maybe the boys.
Well,
Father and daughter.
next year's basketball team, girls basketball team,
Okay.
will be good.
Okay, the team.
They got 2 superstars on that team, even though they're not seniors.
Well, you said seniors at first, is why I said that.
Okay.
Continue.
Interesting
Yeah.
dynamic I'm noticing here.
Yeah.
I bet this happens at home every now and then.
Maybe. But her first year at public school, she was able to play all 3. Mm-hmm. They allowed her to play all 3. Well, maybe you didn't.
I did.
Oh, you did?
My first year there, I did all 3. And then the next year, I practiced a little with basketball, and then I had to make a decision. And so I just did track and soccer because it was really just basketball and soccer were kind of conflicting.
Yep.
And then track was a different season. But then I ended up not doing track anymore after that.
So do you think you could have, this next year, this upcoming year, do you think you could help the basketball team out more or the soccer team more?
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Molly, you don't have to answer that question because he's not the interviewer here.
Okay.
So,
Or am I?
well, okay. Did you as you heard some of the things he said?
Yeah,
Do
I
you think that?
sports was a big thing. I didn't even think about it till he said it, but yeah, that was new and different. I would also say maybe location. Now that I'm driving and stuff, it's kind of we were a lot closer to the school before, but it was also a lot more traffic. So I don't know. There's like good and bad. I can't really look back on anything and think like if I had stayed.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, there's another thing that we had debated about that may have we hesitated or would cause hesitation to make the move. At the smaller school, there's like one big friend group, and you're either in or you're out. Fortunately, Molly was in or what, but we had to think about our other kids who may not necessarily have been in the in group at the smaller school. Once they went to public school, we found out there's several groups. You got to find
for sure.
And you can find your people, and that's what they've done. And that's what they did. Whereas I think if they would have stayed at the private school, once you're out, you really don't get back in. You don't really make a way back in. So
and I think I do think that's one of the big benefits of large public schools is that there are so many like groups within the larger group that a lot of times you can find your place. You can find your people. Maybe it's the basketball team. Maybe it's band. Maybe it's the artsy people. Maybe it's the academics. But there are people for you. And in smaller settings, that can be hard, and sometimes that makes it difficult to want to stay in a place. So, last question for both of you. How have you seen God work through the decision to change schools?
Oh, I'll go first. I really, just from what I've seen, and I talk about it a lot in our small groups with Miss Mary Lou and stuff, is really just, my friendships have changed so much. And I look back on it, I'm like, how was I even friends with those people? That sounds so bad, but I really have found like my friends they hold me accountable and they like help me in my walk with God, and they all go to church. Like that's what I noticed kind of in my old friend group. They might be Christians, but they're not really, like, it doesn't really look like they're, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know them, I don't know how to say it. From what I see, it doesn't look like they're living out a Christian life. They just claim to be Christians. But with the people that I've kind of grown closer with now, I can really tell, and like, God is so evident in all of our lives, honestly.
About you?
Yeah, that I would second that for sure. Like, I mean, that's one of the problems I had being in a smaller school. You know everybody, you know them well, and you know them Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And you know every Sunday they're going to be at church, but Monday through Saturday, you know, they might not. Even Presley struggled with that. She came to me, my friends are drinking and partying it up, and then they're trying to lead a Bible study tomorrow night. What do I,
How do you handle that?
Yeah, how do I deal with that? How do I, and not saying that that's not happening at the public school, but it was more obvious at the private school to us because we knew them better. We were it was smaller, closer, tighter knit, and in a public school with more people, hey, you just don't hang around those people. You go find your people.
Yeah,
and that's what I think. At least Molly and Josie have done. I'm really, really proud of Josie. I mean, I'm proud of Molly too, but I'm just saying, Josie surprised me. It's surprised with her. I know she's a new Christian and she's excited, and she's got her friends doing Bible studies with her, and she's bringing them to church, and she's helped lead one to the Lord. And I don't know that would have necessarily happened at the private school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was a lot. I honestly felt it was a lot harder to talk about your faith with other people in the smaller group of people, because you'd kind of be put in the spotlight, and everyone would be like, I don't know if she's saying all this, but like, whatever.
Yeah.
And in public school, there's like so many people, half of which probably don't even know your name. And it's like you feel more comfortable going up to somebody that you don't know and telling them about Jesus because you're not going to get backlash for it.
Sure.
Or anything. And that's what he's talking about, Josie and her fruits, which I'm proud of her too, but he doesn't, I don't know. All of my friends go to church, and we've been inviting people to other things. It kind of starts with smaller steps, like just talking to them in general, or like inviting them to a D now and stuff. But yeah.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm just, it's because my memory is what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, Josie's is right now. I mean, it's in front of me now, and I mean, I'm proud of you too. And
seems hard.
I'm glad that you go to. I'm glad that
proud of you too.
I'm glad that you go to FCA. Now, if you were the FCA president,
is there a president of FCA?
No,
there was when I was in school.
Well, your school, yeah. Times have changed. Anyways,
the times may have changed, but the Lord never changes.
There's an FCA like.
Did Jesus go to FCA?
Was he an athlete?
Was there an FCA when Jesus was around? No. So
they called it something else.
There's a person who is kind of in charge of it, but there's no president.
I'm just saying. I mean,
All right. Well, as this has been an incredible conversation because we've gotten to see a bunch of things. One, we gotten to hear a lot about school change and why we make those decisions. We got to see dynamics between a family, and that's always fun. But we're so glad that you joined us today. And if you have questions about whether you're trying to make a decision about where your kids go to school or what they need to do, what you need to do as parents, we want to encourage you to reach out to us. Feel free to shoot us some questions. We'll get you in touch with the Horns. We'll get you in touch with other members of our church family that have made these similar decisions in a different direction. We've had people go from public to private. And so we want to encourage you as you think about this. There are ways that you can do this and honor the Lord in both directions. And so if you have questions about that, please reach out to us. And as always, there are better things ahead.
Thanks for joining us on Better Things Ahead. Follow the show on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the video of our podcast. Until next time, keep moving forward because there are always better things ahead.